and welcome to One Voice Radio and Media. Today we'd like to give a warm welcome to Sophie, who's the co-founder of Grit Studios. We're going to be asking Sophie a few questions around what she does and a bit more about the Grit Studios. Sam?
Thanks for coming in, Sophie. First of all, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself?
Hello everyone, thanks so much for having me here today. I'm really pleased to have been invited along. Yeah, I'm Sophie, one half of Grit Studios in Stockport, a creative art space, and I'm really excited to be here today.
Thank you. Megan?
What is Grit Studios?
Grit Studios is a creative art space and workshop in central Stockport. We say it's a bit like a creative allotment, so there's no locked doors, and everybody works in their spaces next to each other, creating things like mosaics, ceramics, willow weaving, all in one building, and all, working together.
So what made you want to start first?
My husband and I were looking for studio space in and around Stockport, and we couldn't find quite what we wanted. And then with the pandemic happening, we couldn't run our events business, so we decided to set up an artist studio. We found an old abandoned building in Stockport and set to filling it with creative people.
So we think of innovation, we have plenty of creative concepts, ceramic art, creative, and many more. What I find what you give to someone who wants to have a creative spark.
I think everybody has a creative spark, but not everybody feels comfortable jumping in because they're worried that they won't be artistic or they're not creative. So my advice is just start it, whether it's scribbling on a bit of paper or messing with a bit of clay. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy it and jump in and enjoy the creating rather than worrying about the end results. You don't have to be, the best at it, or not everybody has to love it. It's being creative is about the enjoyment you get of the process.
Thank you. Jake?
Is there any disabled at the Grit Studio? And do you have anybody that already shows that has a disability?
The first part of the question, disabled access, no, unfortunately. It's an old building. There's a huge step into it, and then on the other side, there's a few steps in. That's something we'd really like to change. We're well aware that that really limits access to people, which isn't great, really. And then there's the upstairs as well, which is access through narrow staircases. Unfortunately, with old buildings, I think that's pretty common. And it's about raising the funds and speaking to people who would need that access to understand what we need to do. Yeah. And then in terms of, does anyone use who has a disability? Yes, we've got a brilliant lad called Dominic who has Down syndrome, and he has just made the most beautiful stained glass window you've ever seen. He's very into wrestling, so he wanted to create a window that represented his favourite wrestler, who's the Monday Night Messiah.
Okay, Amelia?
Yeah. You should open up opportunity for work with it, great stuff, community.
A lot of opportunity for work for creative people, but I don't think there's always a lot of opportunity for paid work, and I think that's the difference. I think the creative people in the creative industries are often expected to work for free in reward for exposure or for something to add to their portfolio, in a way that we would never expect somebody like a plumber to work for free or an accountant to work for free. I think that's the issue people in the creative industry face, but there is a lot of work out there. It's just a case of networking.
Okay, Megan?
Have you ever thought about expanding Grit Studios?
Definitely. We already have a waiting list at the moment, so we have 20 people in the studio at the moment, and we've got a waiting list of nearly 30, which shows the need for creative space, not only in Stockport but in Greater Manchester, that there's lots of creatives out there who need somewhere to base themselves. We're constantly looking to expand. It's just how we're going to do that, because we can't afford to buy another building. So we need to look at different ways of getting that. But yes, we'd love to expand.
Great. So Sam, want to bring the mic round?
Bit of a less serious question to finish off. What is the most outrageous piece about you done or been involved in?
So we were involved in painting a mural on a set of steps, which is much harder than it sounds, because as you look at the steps, you've got to be able to see a full picture. But the practicalities of actually painting a mural on steps is very difficult. We were involved with a wonderful street artist called Quebec, who does lots of work in and around Manchester, and he managed to do it like the total pro that he is. But I think when that job first came in and they wanted a mural on the steps, we just thought, we can't do this. It's too out there, it's too crazy, but it works really well, and it just shows that if you try things, it can.
Yeah. Brilliant. So Tom, last question. Want to speak into the mic, Tom?
Yeah. Right. So, before you go, it's something you would like to ask.
I'd love to know a bit more about community radio. It's something I don't know about, and how people can get involved with you guys.
So where do you want to start, Sam? Do you want to answer that? What do we do? What do we get up to in radio?
You could do bit.
Yeah.
You can do vlogs.
Vlogs?
Yeah.
So what we do, we basically do our like what your favourite movie is, favourite TV show. So
Yeah.
do our own work.
So do you want
To be honest with you, I have one of this new radio, and it seemed alright. I'm just doing a story from around the world, what's in forward there. And I just I put it out there for other people to listen.
Like a really great project to you guys. I'm really impressed, and it'd be lovely to see you all down at Grit at some point.
We should get invited to your place.
And the
Not your
invite's
house,
there.
I mean your Grit studio.
You are all welcome for a brew anytime. We'd love to show you around.
Doing a little bit of research.
I might invite myself then. I might come visit and have a little talk.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today, Sophie. It's been a pleasure and been really interesting. So thank you. So shall we give Sophie a round of applause? Thank you. Thanks very much.